The Indiana Fever just pulled off something nobody saw coming. Without Caitlin Clark on the court, facing a Dallas Wings team hungry for an upset, and coming off a brutal loss to the Sparks the night before, everything pointed to disaster. The crowd of 20,409 came expecting to see Clark face Paige Bueckers for the first time in the WNBA. Instead, they witnessed something even more remarkable. What happened in those final minutes will change how you see this Fever team forever. And what Aliyah Boston said after the game? 6 words that perfectly captured why this win means everything. Picture this massive build-up that had the entire WNBA world talking. Clark versus Bueckers. The number 1 pick from 2024 against the top pick from 2025. This wasn't just any regular season game. This was the matchup everyone had been waiting for since draft night. The Dallas Wings knew they had something special brewing, so they made a huge decision. They moved the game from their usual home at College Park Center to the massive American Airlines Center where the Mavericks play. Think about that for a second. You don't just move a game to a 20,000-seat arena unless you know something big is about to happen. Fans started buying tickets like crazy. The buzz was everywhere. Social media was going wild. This was going to be the showdown that would break attendance records and show the world just how far women's basketball has come. Find out this morning that we probably need to hold out again today. It's just that it really is a day-to-day thing, and I think for us, making sure that we're prioritizing her long-term health and wellness. Anybody who's had some of these types of injuries understand that sometimes it's a process. She's a quick healer and she's been doing everything that she can to get back on the floor. So, we just want to make sure that we're hypersensitive to the big picture. Then boom. Clark's groin injury flares up 2 nights before the game. The most hyped matchup of the season suddenly becomes a giant question mark. You've got thousands of fans who bought tickets specifically to see these two go head to head. And now the main attraction might not even play. I feel a disappointment for them more than anything because, you want them to see, her at her best and us at our best. I hate that for fans. But at the same time, again, for us as a team and for Caitlin as a person and player, her health and wellness is the priority. But here's the thing that made this whole situation even more intense. The Fever had just gotten absolutely destroyed by the Los Angeles Sparks the night before. We're talking about a team that looked completely lost without their star running the show. The pace was slow. The ball movement was terrible. Aliyah Boston barely got any touches. Everything that makes Indiana dangerous just fell apart when Clark wasn't on the court. Dallas was absolutely licking their chops. They knew exactly what happens when the Fever play without Clark. The offense becomes predictable. Boston gets forgotten about. The whole system breaks down. This looked like the perfect opportunity for the Wings to make a statement against a wounded team that had been struggling. But here's what nobody expected. Even without Clark confirmed to play, 20,409 people still showed up. That's right. They set a new Texas women's basketball attendance record without the main attraction even being guaranteed to take the court. Think about what that says about the power of this rivalry and the growth of women's basketball. We'll start Ari today. We'll start her and bring Sid off the bench a little bit. I don't want to take Kelsey out of what she naturally does instinctually on the wing and overload her from a point guard perspective. So with having Ari and having Sid, they'll give us a couple different looks right there. The Wings walked into that game thinking they had a wounded animal cornered. Coach Stephanie White shocked everyone by starting Ari McDonald for the first time, completely changing the lineup that everyone expected. Nobody knew what to expect from this new look. What happened next would reveal something about this Fever team that even their biggest fans didn't know was there. The stage was set for either complete disaster or something absolutely magical. The first quarter starts and something absolutely incredible happens. The Fever don't just survive without Clark on the court. They completely explode right out of the gate. Ari McDonald brings this energy that nobody saw coming. She's pushing the pace like her life depends on it. She's getting everyone involved in ways that make you forget Clark isn't even playing. Dallas walks into this game thinking they can just focus on stopping Kelsey Mitchell. That's their whole game plan. Shut down Mitchell and watch the Fever fall apart. But suddenly they're dealing with McDonald's downhill attack that they never prepared for. She's creating complete chaos for the Wings' defense. She's opening up lanes that haven't existed all season long. Here's what makes this even more amazing. McDonald goes perfect from the field in that first quarter. She's not just throwing up shots. She's making smart plays that create opportunities for everyone else. The Fever start the game by making their first 7 shots in a row. 7 straight makes to open the game. You don't see that kind of execution very often. Aliyah Boston finally starts getting the touches she desperately needs. You can actually see her confidence building with every single possession. She's getting the ball in positions where she can do damage. The wings have to respect McDonald's speed, which means Boston has more room to operate down low. She scores efficiently and grabs rebounds like she's been waiting for this moment all season. The crowd that came to see Clark face Beckers is witnessing something completely different. They're watching a team discover what they can be when everyone steps up together. This isn't about one player carrying the load. This is about 5 players moving as one unit. By the end of that first quarter, Indiana leads 33-13. Let that sink in for a second. They outscored Dallas by 20 points in 12 minutes. Even the Dallas fans are standing up and applauding the basketball they're seeing. You don't often see that kind of respect from opposing fans. Kelsey Mitchell starts heating up during this stretch, but she's not forcing anything. The ball movement is creating easy looks for everyone on the court. Mitchell gets 10 points in the first quarter alone, but she's doing it within the flow of the offense. This wasn't just about replacing Clark's production on the scoreboard. This was about the Fever discovering what this team could become when everyone stepped up together. The foundation was set for something truly special, but the real test was still ahead of them. Here's where the story gets really good. Dallas starts clawing back hard, and suddenly this comfortable lead starts shrinking fast. The Wings figure out how to attack the Fever's defense. They start making shots they were missing in the first quarter. You can feel the momentum shifting in a way that makes Fever fans nervous. Paige Beckers begins putting on an absolute show. She scores 27 points and makes WNBA history with a perfect stat line that has everyone's jaws dropping. Beckers becomes the first player ever to record 25 points, 5 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, and 0 turnovers in a single game. That's the kind of performance that wins games and changes careers. Paige is just such a smart player. She reads defensive well. She knows how to pick you apart. And so when you play against her, you have to make sure that you're aware of where she is at all times. And also she does a great job of putting her teammates in a great position. So for us, I feel like it's kind of similar in college and in the league, like Paige is just playing great basketball and make sure that she sets up her teammates to the same. The Wings cut the lead to single digits. You can feel that familiar panic setting in around the arena. This is exactly where the Fever usually fall apart without Clark on the court. The pace slows down. The ball stops moving. Players start pressing and making bad decisions. Everything that went wrong against the Sparks the night before starts creeping back into the game. But Kelsey Mitchell refuses to let this slip away. She goes into complete takeover mode with shots that would make Clark proud. Mitchell drops 32 points with 7 assists, making 11 of 17 shots from the field. More importantly, she's making the right play every single time down the court. She's not forcing bad shots. She's creating opportunities for her teammates while taking control of the offense. Aliyah Boston steps up huge in the clutch moments. She makes defensive stops when they absolutely have to have them. She grabs rebounds that keep possessions alive. Boston finishes with 21 points on 9 of 14 shooting, hitting all 3 of her free throws. She's doing all the little things that championship teams need from their big players. The crowd is going absolutely wild. They're watching 2 teams refuse to back down. Both sides are trading big shots like a heavyweight fight. Neither team wants to give an inch. The energy in that arena is electric in a way that only happens during special games. With minutes left, Boston looks at the crowd of Fever fans scattered throughout the arena. You can see something click in her eyes. This is what she would later explain about every game being a home game. Those Fever jerseys are everywhere, creating energy that travels with this team. Mitchell and Boston combine for the final push that seals the 94-86 victory. They prove this team has championship-level heart when it matters most. The fourth quarter belongs to Mitchell, who takes control and makes every play the Fever needs to close out the win. After the game, Aliyah Boston walks up to the microphone and delivers 6 words that perfectly sum up what just happened. Reporters are asking about playing without Clark. They want to know about the pressure. They're trying to figure out how the Fever pulled off this incredible win against a Dallas team that had every reason to believe they would cruise to victory. Boston looks right into the camera and says, "Every game is a home game." Those 6 words hit different. Suddenly, everything makes sense about what happened in that arena. The energy, the confidence, the way this team played like they belonged on that stage. Every game is a home game. I think you see that, people show up, they show out. I think it's great for this league. Just people continue to come to games and watch these. I think when people show up to watch a game, they might have came from one person, but they leave liking many more. And so I think that's where you look at it, right? You've had this arena that's filled and people are coming in like, whoa, I like her, she's tough. And so I think it's just great for the game. She explains how Fever fans travel everywhere they go. They create that energy no matter what arena they're playing in. You could see it during the game. Those Fever jerseys scattered throughout the crowd, the cheers that got louder every time Indiana made a big play, the standing ovations that came from sections filled with fans who traveled from Indiana just to support their team. This wasn't just about winning without Clark on the court. This was about proving that the connection between this team and their fans goes deeper than any one player. Boston talks about how fans might come to see Clark initially, but they leave loving the whole team. That's exactly what happened with those 20,409 people who showed up. They came expecting to see Clark face Beckers for the first time. Instead, they witnessed something even more special than the matchup they originally came to see. They watched a team discover its identity. They saw players step up when their star needed them most. They experienced the kind of basketball that creates lifelong fans. Kelsey Mitchell echoes this sentiment during her own interview. She talks about how the team's confidence grows when they see those Fever jerseys in the stands. Mitchell mentions that the team's ability to get downhill and create opportunities becomes easier because of that support. It creates this positive feedback loop where the fans energize the players and the players give the fans something to cheer about. These 6 words became the rallying cry that showed this team's identity goes far beyond their superstar. It's about family. It's about a connection that can't be broken by injuries or tough losses. It's about fans who believe in something bigger than just one player. Boston's words captured something powerful about what this franchise has become. When your fans travel everywhere and create that home court advantage wherever you play, you've built something special that goes beyond wins and losses. Great use of the word urgency. That's honestly been the topic of conversation for us, is making sure that we have a sense of urgency on the offensive end, on the defensive end. And once again, Leeds did slip away in this game and last game, but for us it's about making sure that we turn that page, we get back the lead, we keep it, we get big defensive stops. And you understand, once again, it's a game of runs. You just have to make sure that you have the best at the end. This win wasn't just about beating Dallas. It was about the Fever discovering they're built for something special in 2025 and beyond. They pushed their record to 8 wins and 8 losses and secured 3rd place in the Eastern Conference. That puts them just 2 games behind Atlanta and 4 behind New York. When Clark comes back healthy, she's returning to a team that just proved they can step up when it matters most. That makes them dangerous. The Commissioner's Cup championship game against Minnesota is coming up. Then they get a 5-game homestand in Indianapolis. The future looks bright because they've built something unstoppable.